So now I'm ready to knit the sleeves, and I will begin by changing to these double-pointed needles. You knit with whatever needle you like. If you have a short circular needle, or you use two circular needles, or whatever you like, doesn't matter as long as it will get the job done. Earlier we did leave 8 stitches here under the sleeve, and right under here in the middle I will have the beginning of my row. So with one of my needles I will pick up the 4 stitches on the left, like this, and I will get my yarn I'll just secure it like this. And this will be the first stitch of my row. I will purl that one, and each time I get to the beginning of my row I will continue to purl my first stitch, and I will continue to knit like this. So now I have attached my yarn, and here I have the needle where I placed all the sleeve stitches earlier. If you use a safety pin or yarn, you should transfer the stitches over onto needles before you begin, but I will just knit the stitches from this needle and onto this one. So here you can see, if I just knit, there will be a small hole under the sleeve. I don't want that, so therefore I will knit the last stitch here and the first stitch on the other side together, and then I will keep going, and you can see now it's almost invisible. So I will just knit the number of stitches that I want on my first needle, and when I believe I have knitted about 1/4 of the sleeve, I will get another one and knit the stitches onto that one. And so I will try to evenly distribute these stitches onto 4 double-pointed needles. But of course you can use any type of needles you like. So now I have knitted almost the entire row, and here you can see I have 3 stitches left before I get to this gap. And the last stitch here I want to knit together with the first stitch on the other side. So I just place it onto my left needle to begin with, and then I want to pick up the 4 stitches I have left, like this. Now I can slip it back onto my left needle and knit the 2 together, and then I knit the 3 remaining stitches. And this was the first row of my sleeve. On the next row I will again purl the first stitch before I continue to knit as normal. So the reason why I purl the first stitch is so that I know where the beginning of my row is, because later we will decrease on each side of that purl stitch. Like this. Here I have begun the sleeve, and I have done 2 repetitions of the pattern, and now I will begin my decreases. And I will begin here. This purl stitch is the first stitch in my row, and I will decrease on each side of that stitch. So I will begin to purl this, and I will knit the first 2 stitches together, and when I decrease, to make it look good, I will knit 2 together towards my purl stitch. So here I will go from left and through both stitches and knit them together, and then I will just continue to knit throughout the row until I reach the last 2 stitches of the row. So now I have knitted almost the entire row, and I have just a few stitches left. So I continue to knit until I have only 2 stitches left. And here I have my row of purl stitches. So as I said, when I decrease, I will knit the 2 stitches together towards the purl stitch. So here I put my needle through the stitches from left to right towards this stitch, and here I will move from right to left and knit together. So if you look here closely, the right stitch now will place itself on top of the left one, and here the left stitch will place itself on top of the right one. So it will look quite symmetrical maybe, when it's done. So now I will continue to knit 5 rows of my pattern, and then I will decrease in row number 6, and then I will knit 5 rows again, decrease in row number 6, and I will continue to do so until the next step. As the stitches here are knitted together, it will affect this part of the pattern. Just make sure to make these fit after each other, so that in a while you'll just skip this stitch of the pattern, skip this stitch of the pattern, skip this stitch, instead of moving these sideways. So just make sure that the pattern places itself on top like this, so that you get rows. Like this. Okay, so then I will continue to knit my sleeve, and I will get back to you with the next step. So now I have knitted my sleeve, and I will begin on the last row before the ribbing. And here I will do some decreases. I will do it the same way as I have done here along the sleeve. Here you can see the result. So this is right under the sleeve where my row begins, and you can see if I pull it, you can see the purl stitch in between. So I will just try to evenly distribute my decreases throughout the row. So just the same way. So just knit 2 together until you have the number of stitches that you should have. I think it's 46. And when I am finished with this row, I will begin to knit ribbing the same way as I have done on the neck and the edge here on the body. In the first row of the ribbing, I will change to half a size smaller needles, as I did here. And when I have knitted my ribbing, I'll cast off in the same, using the same technique that I did here. And so that's it. That is the whole sweater, and only thing left is to attach loose yarn ends and perhaps lightly steam it so it'll look its best. Thank you.